bwe twatandikidde okoza kya ttendo naddala mu abatugoberera ku Facebook n'abali emitala w'amayanja mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala naawe atulabira waneeno mu nsonda z'eggwanga ez'enjawulo abali mu Eastern mu Central mu Northern wamu ne mu Western mwebale nnyo kubanga mutambula wamu naffe naye nga njagala okukubiriza yenna yandyetaaze okulanga naffe jangu buterevu wano ku offices zaffe atugobera ensonga nga bwe zigenda maaso mu ggwanga naye nga wakati wange namwe tukimanyi ennaku ziri 8 zokka ezibula Uganda ebenga esalawo so mu nnaku 8 ezo zitugezaako okutunulira wamu n'omukuku na Tamale Mirundi atubuulire ye endowooza ye eri ki naddala nga Electoral Commission yavaayo n'efulumya ebiragiro ng'egamba nti yafuna okuwabulwa okuva mu minisitule y'ebyobulamu mu districts 13 abacandidates ab'enjawulo gye batakubye campaign so ekibuuzo kiri nti bano abalonzi bo are they going to make an informed decision or not?
Let me tell you.
And what does it mean?
By now nabagamba nti mu Africa you study society kyolaba kati abo social scientists batuyambe. It's not like Europe. Do you know what is contained in the Bobi Wine's manifesto? Walabye kuyani
nalabako ya President Museveni
wagisomamu
nagisomamuko
ngeri mubisi bibiri ku debate. This election is between abagala consolidating a situation of future ne frustrated youth abagate bafunyemu
two groups zokka ziri mu competition
tinabana abasajja bagezi. When you look at the way they are organizing themselves, the opposition in a hand engaging you tekakati Tumukunde does not campaign for himself. Tumukunde says mulonde change. Why? Tumukunde knows he is now protected as a presidential candidate. Otherwise nabaganti book the vision yet sola kuba kifani cha Tumukunde nga bamusibye empingo because it was a humiliating photo. Abasajja bo batula abo opposition ne bategeera nti mawu ajja kututabula enzo kuba molo yaba is angat ekibiina kyetu tukisokodde ne bamufuula chairman. Owaki chairman wa gundi owaabwe gundi bali baprotesting okukwatibwa kwani mawu ne bamudisaminga. Tumukunde tanoonya kaluluke anoonya future tikakati Bobi Wine bwabeerawo the opposition nga weeri Bobi Wine yekweka mu opposition and has a number of MPs. Era nabaga nti Tumukunde wagenda obbakubira yali muyiso omuntu yenna ayina empapula enfu neyesimbawo agenda mu expose nga aveeyo
abamanyi
kakati bwobatunuulira notunuulira nti a person ono omukulu w'ebikonde who had a wealth of knowledge ono gwe basse bategeera nti agenda kuditeketinga wa Museveni bamubattula. What does it mean? Waliwo omulala ajjayo omutwe waliwo omulala agenda okulosinga wa Museveni ng'ono bamubattudde
gattako negundi ono muvubuka Frank Akumbuzi
kakati ono Bobi Wine bwe yamaze okuva ewa Lwanga yalazeewa Omega. What's the significance of Omega? Omega, that man, that pastor and the Pastor Semper fought vigorously against Kayanja's alleged involvement in homosexuality. They lost the case. Kayanja is an entrenched pastor in the State House. This is why when Bujingo meandered into State House to preside over Afende Muhoozi's birthday party to be a chief celebrant, Bukedde yamukuba. Nibagamba n'ekizimbe kye yasabira ekyali venue tikitonya to hit at him. Muti mubitegeera. Kakati Bobi Wine, even if you had a last minute bomb linking Bobi Wine to homosexuality, nobody will believe it. Why? Has already insulated himself. Has gone to a man who fights Bisiaga, Omega. How if Bobi Wine was receiving money from homosexuals, how could he be hosted? And the man moved a step further. Abirwanyisa.
Wow.
Kakati kitegeeza nti bino byonna nze sigana put you up Gondi instead of working like a fire brigade ensure that the capital
babwana ni amubalira
babala bagezi babazi bayine a foreign hand. I suspect say ti babala nnyo akola gundi wano n'akolayo
nti you're suspecting okubanga ali funded by abali b'ebisiyaga ate agenze okusabira ababirwanyisa.
Before the president takes a route, there is a route commander. Tamale gavuga bw'ato naki. There must be people stationed. N'emmotoka era babaka emu eyitawo that's why emmotoka yentomedde namuleka buli simbwa kubanga namugjamu information. Emmotoka za president zaali ziyiseewo yali avudde bw'atomere yange head on. Kakati muntu ki, is it God who created this situation where Museveni met Bobi Wine at Kibuye?
Was it planned?
And if Museveni is not a man who can stomach a provocation, bali ba provoking ne bakuba Bobi Wine amasasi. Ani abikola?
That's a question. It's worth thinking about it.
Before I talk about violence, I must even protect the president's security. It seems they are inside as within.
So the state is also infiltrated. Is it what you're trying to say?
When I was still in the State House, I observed one rule. You don't reveal the whereabouts of the president. At one time, Bukenya incited the president against me. Yali eranda nani nyenye yabasabaze. Kati I was contacted. The Bangamba create a diversion, defend this. As two planes, Waki Alinye Abasabaze. Never creating as an intelligent man. Was he checking the economic class? From now onwards, but Mr. Sabu never Jagutam. Kenya incited him against me. Why did you reveal my whereabouts before I even boarded the plane? I said, it was security. I even had to create a diversion for you. Are you harassing me? Kakati, oh no. Our Bobi Wine, yes, Museveni had it one day. Yasinkana n'abaani n'aba Sebagala ekisubi namuwevingira no namuwevingira naye ekyo was advised to go by helicopter. Museveni n'agaana nja kubayitamu kino ekyekimu ye kyavuddewo
ate nga bakitegere nti Bobi Wine yagenze ku Omega kusaba.
Bobi Wine lwaki yalinze essaawa ezo? Where did the two correspond? Arrived at a particular.
Are you trying to say nti Bobi Wine anaba informers within?
Ebyo mbibalekera naye nze kembagamba kana kataba nakawandiika dda
naye ati kibuzo kyange tokizzeemu
ekyo kibalekera akatabo kano kalaba nakawandiika dde
wakawandiika compiled at 5:33 on the 21st of April 2017.
Kana akatabo kangi nnyo nakakoba emirundi mingi
kagamba ki
again
at the crossroads
bagamba nti ekisanja Museveni ejja kiyisaamu. Whenever we have a problem katuli ku crossroad, Museveni identifies the right way. Kati nabagamba where Ugandans must take care. One in a page in. Those who have it, who have not bought it, you go to the bookshop, they are there. Those who fear inside the buildings. Nkugamba, after analyzing the above, the question is why the opposition in Uganda has failed to defeat Yoweri Museveni. My observations are based on three factors. In almost all African countries where the incumbent have been defeated, there are three remarkable factors. Our security, our chi. There are three factors that cause trouble in the country. One, the opposition in Africa is fragmented. In many African countries, political parties rotate around ethnicity, which renders efforts to forge unity against the incumbent impossible. In addition, the opposition lacks money to survive and only resort to being models of the regime. This means that the incumbent in such a cases as it is in Uganda controls both the party and the opposition. This is how President Moi maintained the power for 24 years in Kenya. However, when Moi picked Uhuru Kenyatta as a political novice, the opposition picked Mwai Kibaki. No one will wonder which it is. All of these years, 2 years to the election, we have had many financial scandals. Ngabuli wali sente bagobawo omuntu nakalema namukwata ne batwala mu kangalo kooti yaabwe ne bakuba ba nasali ovunaanira ota nasali mbu yabbye ne banne miliyoni 45 mu ministry mwe yava edda a woman who presided over a project of $100 million amasannyalaze ne bagabba buli omu they were accumulating money for elections ettaka ntayebwa ettaka ly'ekabanyolo n'alitunda lyataatawo tukulizeko amanyolo ettaka lya gundi ono musajja ne batunda ettaka to raise money because they were obsessed with money as they tampered with the service delivery bo balowooza nti abalonzi bagulibwa mubagule mulabe babaleete 10 omulenzi oyo adduke ne kagurupu ke nkugamba another important factor is where the opposition has mobilized the masses against rigged elections. This is where you have the problem.
Mobilizing the masses?
Yes, kasitamunazanyira ku babaka bwa parliament lowa kundi eyo sente zemutambuza nemweza sente ku masimu mwabali mu government mumubuuze owekyo lero basamugamba kyolina miliyoni 3 ku ssimu zivudde wagundu abagambye gula masimu ago mugozi bano tebayoza essimu tebaleeta omuchina nayoza essimu ngambala nazoza zonna nazanika ku musana enkyasa bakwata. Do you fight a satellite? Kakati, this is where there is a problem. Another important factor is where the opposition has mobilized the masses against rigged election, or where the incumbent refuses to concede defeat, like in the case of Yahya Jammeh in Gambia. Yasooka naga nti nzikiriza neyekyusa kubanga amagezi yali ayina yali ayita omusajja ono agende mu State House bamuttire mu kkuba akalukaddemu. The man, because he was under the Senegalese Yahya yakola ensobi Senegal eyina oluguudo oluyita mu Gambia ogenda mu territory yayo. This man blocked the road. The Senegalese said no, what type of person are you? Bagezaako n'okukola Senegambia mu biseera bya Sajjawala ne Kirima. So Senegal has an interest there. The moment this Yahya blocked the road, the Senegalese moved in. Katukukuba oveewo ono yaddukira Senegal sije yava. He made a mistake. Kakati nkugamba. The next point, which the third case is where the army has intervened to remove the incumbent from power. An example is Burkina Faso. In this case, during when the army played a big role and ushered in a new administration, the same was applied in the Central African Republic. That's what I tell you. A country that cannot sacrifice its children for all domestic or overseas interests is not a country. America later abajase mitwale nabongeza kasavu. France, that's why the commander of NATO forces must be an American general, the standard weapon. Kakati Rwanda has deployed soldiers in Central Africa.
Do talking about deployment. When
the army move in, but our army is composed of highly educated people. Finally, the death factor, unfortunately for the Ugandan opposition, all of the above factors do not and have not applied. Uganda's situation is very unique. I have always compared the Ugandans to a divorcee who has almost seen it all. In the mid-80s and 90s, a political wave of change swept across the African continent, ridding it of single-party dictatorships, with Uganda remained an island. The question is why? Because Uganda's history is quite unique. Ugandans went through the UPC Kawakaika Alliance struggles of 60s, the Idi Amin murderous regime that left a million Ugandans dead, the military juntas, and finally the NRA. I was explaining somewhere, Uganda the revolutions of North Africa, they are coming back in a different way. Mubarak is nowhere. Mubarak is nowhere. Bashir is nowhere. They are following the Nile. That's why I tell you.
Gamba kati Nile flowing very kati ekoma when.
Riba hakozesa muwala wa chapati. A campus student. Eno bakozesa judge.
Muyimbi.
Look what the sequence. Now I have a lot of time. I look what these people.
Nile kati flowing ekoma when.
Mbategera nti beni beri navuma na Rwanda ne musisi ngabantu bagamba nze na taxi zange even that one if I can protect my property ate kibakityanga ate mu government mwendi mali yange bajibu I should have oba nenaka munye 10 oba mmeka nanga akukenzi byeyo nafune ettaka
soka tule mwakubyemu oluseka
bagala balinzijeko abantu yakusayagala dibba nalupo
buli omukati akubyemu oluseka asikabukyazise
kanja kulitunda nalitunda ate naliguza government kubanze nafuna amagezi gange nengula ettaka mu middle wa project nga tebasobola kukola project auditor general nayogera mbosoi na balibe nakolaje mumpita weraka mumpita musiru nalitunde millions za $2 oba mulowooza nti fetwajja
ngoli musajja mugaja
kwanikira ttala nakubase bagumu naliremera nibagenda niwa president ningiremera nibateeka mwaka sajja musemenya nyumba ya staff byamusiyaganga nadduka paka lwegivaamu nentunde ettaka lyange wirindi temuyinza kuneneka kakati nakubwanga musingamba kange nti abaleeta ebizibu gavumenti eringa gundi eringa bodaboda ekivuvumira n'ekikongoli ebigikuba ekigo kakati beribera ani yamukuba ekigo mwana yeyokya because Uganda is a very unique people that example of boda people banning themselves tetukirabyeko wano kakati ani abikola ani yabijja Tunisia abireetewo
naye sisubira nti was a staged action no si bwe kyali muzeyi Tamale ebyaddala then what happened after
akyagaana anti kekano kenkugambye ti Uganda is a very unique people ekyokubiri insurance yetuziresinga obukulu mu Uganda tebamula nti abo abantu bafa monitor ba highlighting most of those people we are workers mu Uganda ffe tuli mu informal sector aba bana banereka
yezo sente zalagawa
nebalekera omulimu gwabwe
what happened to that compensation money?
I don't have a government job
Nzitama.
But my resistance costs I derive my resistance costs from doing private work.
What happened to that compensation money?
Kakati nze nkugamba anti Museveni bwe yagamba compensation bukedde nekuba nti baganye ate ne kaddamu ne kakuba n'olukongo lwako ne kakuba ne kagamba abaakubwa babuliddwa kubanga balowooza nti Museveni bamukompensate oyinza okubanga naye Museveni balooya bamubuulira balooya be if you compensate these people are you creating a danger because his initiatives Museveni is a generous man baana bwe bati bafe kakati kwalowozeza nti yali kubidde omukyalo oyo webikonde
apana wewa katuyongerewo ne STV the sharp talk olunaku olweggulo President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yabadde ayogerako ne abawagizi be oba aba voters eside ze Kisoro bamusabye nti owaaye ayina okuta mukaoba okujjako okusonyiwa mu omwana w'obutaka General Kale Kayihura yali adumira polisi yensi yatu Uganda kati n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga yavuddeyo n'agamba nti agenda kwogerako ne kooti y'amagye okulaba nga badroppinga all charges against Kale Kayihura wano wenjagala okubuuliza omukuku na Joseph Tamale Mirundi kino kitegeeza ki does it mean Kayihura akomawo mu active service oba eno target ya kuwangula Kalungu
nakugamba nti abo abasajja tebamanyi Museveni waabakubira many people don't understand Museveni never fight personal battles when any general oba omuntu yenna amukwasa kooti ye. That's why he finds the problem with the dealing with the police. Police is a police mass, in a disciplinary committee. Tinyefunza face ya kote mass. Oh no, tumukunde yamala egindi banga. I used to tell him to baja kusibanga takiris. Once in a little him 201. Ngira ya kana publicity.
Hey, ambition ya vada. Okay.
We had planned for 2016.
Yaja 2016.
Bankwata nange bankwata. We met afterwards after ngali gundi myaka mingi nemugani nange libakwata bwe yali agenda okubesimba okuba me he called me we had a meeting mugani wa now uduse was ekireri kiri bulungi we met in Fanga bagita batyeyo nyanganga twinyanganga
Fanga hotel awe nakasero
namba ne $1 awo twatula ulire mugani wa nawe wokeza
okay
kakati itu abantu abatamanyi trend ya Museveni Museveni does not panic in elections. If you expect Museveni to panic in elections tomumanyi
niye kano kana akacontain
Ssaabasajja kabaka yakwata ekisumuluzo kya Besigye n'agenda egindi mu katale ke wa Kiseka bwakitunulako bwakizeena bwakitaluddawa. What did Museveni do? Museveni summoned the parliament to enact a law to protect our traditional leaders at the peak of an election. Abantu bonna mukama watusi mukama wakozeeki nabaga no, we don't have this law. Tuyinza okufuna ekizibu ku bakulembeze baffe. Let us protect. Era sekandi oyo musajja w'amaanyi. Sekandi came back, convened the parliament, neyise teekeri. Ne Queen yalina teekeri mufuga. It was an omission. Bondi traditional leader sayina kyafuulibwa. Mukula, who was shouting himself hoarse, ti Museveni amuwalana kubanga ayagala kwesimbawo. When Mukula had problems, ne bamusiba mu kkomera. Who helped Museveni and how? Mukula yali takimanyi, oli yamukubira essimu n'amugamba nti first lady's office, not first lady, baali balina first lady yalina charity ye nga bagiyita batya
charity ya first lady
ne bakubira Mukula essimu. Mukula bamugambye wejja okudiringanga ne office ya first lady fe tumutya bamulimba. Kakati Mukula kozi ye bamutezi musajja omuntu yakuba essimu mu State House n'agamba nti twagalayo miliyoni 2.4. First lady's charity eyagalayo miliyoni 2.4 okulwanyisa gundi siriimu. Mukula aba agenda ozitwala essimu neevuga baali basyalinga office n'omuntu naye nga was from State House, can you get this man? Namumubuulira namugamba you want me in State House? Yes. Now ti kyava amugamba nti sente ziri ze babadde baagala mu State House nze kanzitwale ndaba gyendaga. Mukula never bothered to ask whether the money reached the facility good. Nemusanga boosting. I had put Mukula to see the president. Nemuga Mukula. The MP for Ruhama should go to the doco first. Against the president Ampayiriza. Mirundi Afumakayanyi. Nze nabagamba president Museveni tawagira Rushiaka. Therefore, Wakayanga Mukwano kwa Museveni ubani. Ngabo balowooza Kayanja aranga ni at midnight. Nemuga sijja kuyamba. Since I got the president yakuwagira. Museveni tawagira Rushiaka. You can't tell anybody but not me. He was a tough man. Kakati Mukula bamu alowooza nti first lady yatwala sente tezatuuka miliyoni 5 kati Mukula bamukwata bamuteeka mu kkomera bamwite kati gundi oyo temukyajjukira
zezo sente zamukwata za malaria
yakola operation n'alumba bamukula abo bamukwezi nayiwa ne banoonya Mukula Meja Jeno Mukwezi ne bamunoonya mu Sugar Bowl emifaliso gyonna Mukamuwezi n'agamba you feel a tough man why don't you can't fight Kayibulanga mukama we amulagidde ayya Kayibula was a committed man.
Everyone talks about that.
I don't know how he blundered.
So does Museveni give a second chance?
Nti Museveni yeche yakola kyali eki yakwata sente naziwa balooya abatali beenaale mpanga
and company advocates
bamugamba abeeyo nga bagamba namugandi Mukula ali mukomera tumuyambite chairman w'enaale. Mukula was saved by Mpanga because if Mukula had appealed the judgment would have been maintained because when you appeal you don't bring fresh evidence but a review Mukula applied for review Mpanga yali mugezi ne office ya first lady ne fulumia to send a visit wafuna even in denominations wetano bwali bwebuti nga Mukula
ngati ya wayo
Mukula was saved through court. Museveni wound
sente zogera kuzali za malaria zetuulira
yes kujja wange biri mu maaso yafuna kwalo ne wakapabolo Museveni ne bidandisa. The president as usual was taking a slow move on whether we go to multi-party or not. Kakati ba wakapabolo ne bagamba this man can retire. Let us form a political party. Ne bakola amagezi ne basaba sente tiza mobilization biri maaso naziwamba kati biri maaso waziwamba koza inaka populanga wakababulo awandisi when you get that money